git git fetch is shown. So what it does, so it updates the remote tracking branch. So then you just do a normal merge operation between the remote tracking branch and the local branch. So the example that you see on the screen, so remote repository has four commits and the master branch, and local repository also has to fetch all these four commits. So once you do the fetch, you're going to get all those data that was committed using four commits in the remote repo in the master branch. So and after that, if you use a branch, and so the same exercise we have done it previously. So now here what we are going to discuss is the various commands that we have used in that exercise. It's like a summary, it's like summary of the previous exercise, because if that is clear, then we will go to the next exercise. Okay, so git clone, we have used it not in previous exercise but in a different exercise. Then git remote add, that adds a remote repository with the given connection URL. Then git fetch fetches changes to the remote tracking branch from the remote repository. Then git pull, so we have done it. So maximum all these commands we have used it. The difference between a fetch and pull is the git pull command is a convenient command that combines fetch with the merge. And finally git push, this exercise, the push exercise, we haven't done. So next we are going to do that. Yeah, so now here pushing a change to remote repository. So push also allows you to create new branches in the remote repository, but that's not the point of matter here. The point of fact here is to push a data from local repository to remote repository. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take, this is our local repository with master branch and then feature one branch. And then from the feature one branch, we will merge all data into master branch. Then once feature one branch data has been merged into master branch, then we will push everything back into the remote repository. So you see that complete data that was in local repository should be pushed into the remote repository. That is the uh, that's the exercise here. It's literally what we are doing. We are connecting or making a connection between local repo with the remote repo, and we are using git and github with our local machine, so collaboratively to store and version our files. Okay, let me get into the exercise. So this is the GitHub. Let me go to your repositories, then create a new repository, that is git GitHub, and push exercise. So we are gonna experiment git push command. So I'll make it public. So I'll create a repository. So our repository has been created. Now let me copy this and paste it in. Now let me create a first file in it. So I would say test.txt, and this is the first file in this repo, and I'm gonna commit it. This is the first commit in this remote repo, and commit this file. Done. So let me take this URL. So now let me get back ls. Let me create a directory mkdir git and GitHub Colab push cd git GitHub and Colab and push ls. Nothing is there. Now let me clone the same remote repository that we have just created and added a file. Let me clone it first. So now I'm cloning it. So it's been cloned. Let me check. Yes. Let me enter into that git ls. Yes. Test.txt. Let me make it smaller. So on left and right window, you can see that. I'll click on code here and let me clear the screen and show it to you very clearly. Now ls lr, you see that test.txt and test.txt done. Till now all fine. Now what will we do is we will create a file, not one file, 2 3 files we'll create. We'll do it 2 to 3 times. Then we will push it to the we'll push it to the remote repository. So that's what our motto right here. You see, from local repo we want to push it into the master branch of remote repo. Of course, that's the main branch. Remote repo is main branch, and local also at this moment it's a main branch only. Just consider this as a main branch. Okay, now let me, oh, where is that? Yeah. So let's create a file first. Touch mod 4.python ls. You see, total 4 files has been created, but here not even a single file. You have only one file. I'll just refresh it and I'll show it to you. Still only one file. You see that? Only one file, because though there is a connection between local repo and remote repo. You see, here you can see the local repo of the main branch on right side. Let me make it. Yeah. Here you can see the local repo of the main branch. Here you can see the remote repo of a main branch. Though I have done modifications here in the local repo, but nothing has been visible. Sorry, in the current working directory, nothing has been visible, because we have to add these files, the changes, into the staging area, and after that we have to commit into the local repo. Then we have to push it into the remote repo. So then only it can be reflected in remote repo. Let's do that. So let me do git add. So all files has been added. Now let me commit, git commit. This is the first commit from the local repo. So commit has been done. Total mod 1, mod 2, mod 3, mod 4. 4 files has been committed into the local repo. Now it's time to push it across the globe. Sorry. Of course, I'm saying across the globe because my machine is in India and GitHub server might be in America. So when I'm pushing my files from my local machine from Bengaluru, it will go to the America. So I'm right. I'm pushing across the globe. I hope you got my point. That's okay, just for fun. Yeah. Now let's get back into the tutorial. So let's push git push u and then origin and branch main. Congrats, it's been pushed. So enumerating objects 4 done. Total how many projects? Sorry, how many objects? 4 objects. Counting objects 4 by 4. Oh, just a minute. Yeah, 4 by 4. compressed. After that compression started up to 16 threads, then all the objects has been compressed. Then it's been writing into the remote repo, writing into the remote repo, writing objects into the remote repo, and then total 3. So to whom? To HTTP. So this is the remote repository URL. Then with this commit ID from main branch local to the remote main, from branch main to the remote origin main has been pushed. Okay, so let's refresh this and see what is going to happen. Let me click on view code. That's the magic. Got it? So let me clear the screen on and say ls. You see that you have 5 files. You have 5 files. 5 files, 5 files. Okay, let me do let me add few more files. This time I will add touch index dot html, git add, git commit, m option and message. This is the second commit and it is html file. Then let us push it now. Git push u and origin. That's it. It's done. Let's refresh it and see. Here it is. Here it is. Index.html. Okay. So now let's create touch template styles.css. Again, styles.css, git add and git commit m option. This I'm committing css style rules, and this is the third commit. Done. Again, git push u origin, and let me refresh it and see the magic. Here it is, index and styles.css. So now let's add touch function 129 dot java js. So git add function js, all of javascript has been added. Git commit option m, committing all the java files. Now let me use git push origin. That's it. Done. And view code. Here it is. Complete. You see that? JavaScript modules, CSS, HTML, text. And final one, let's do markdown, touch and description or readme.md. Git add, git commit m option, and readme file has been committed. And as usual, git push origin, and let me refresh it. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Readme.md. So with this, it's clearly visible on your screen. On left side, you see local repo. On right side, you see remote repo. So local repository has been connected with the remote repository, and then we have pushed all the files that we have created in local repository into the remote repository. So this is how a developer who writes the code in his local machine in VS Code or somewhere, he writes that in a local machine, then he pushes it into the remote repository, into the GitHub. Similarly, somebody else writes the code in his local machine, and he also pushes that module. So a complete application will be broken into few modules, and each module will be allocated to different developers. So each developer will complete their module, and from their local repository, each guy is going to push it into the remote repository, and there you can find the complete piece, all modules together, and you will get the complete one application. This is how we write a code. We are going to see the demonstration of that also.